witness the power of your god?
I cannot.
Why do you defy me?
Because you are not a god. You are a parasite within a child, and I despise you.
Java, Kratai, I am your god!
Status, so movie stars never did television, and television stars never did commercials, and commercial stars never did et cetera, down on the line. That doesn't exist in today's world. Media is media, right? And you can be anywhere at the same time. Back then it was a thing. And so pretty much everybody knew, for the most part, that none of the movie stars of the movie were going to come back to do television. I don't know if it was even presented to them, to be honest. Just that's the way things were. And I was neither a movie star nor a TV star. I liked the franchise. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I'm glad that I did.
Yeah, you certainly made the right sort of call in terms of that, because people will obviously say that although the movie was quite successful, it's a pale shadow in terms of the TV series, in terms of its longevity over 7-8 seasons, in terms of Stargate SG1. If some people look back in the movie, they'll probably remember some characters. Would you ask anyone in terms of Stargate, who's Jack O'Neill? Say Richard Dean Anderson straight away. It's the name that comes to everyone start to think is Stargate. So in terms of being involved in that sort of project, if you only had the choice between the movie and the TV series, I say you would have gone for the TV series.
I guess. I mean, hindsight being 2020, sure. Definitely. On the other hand, there's a thing too, as actors, we're sort of used to the idea that when we do something afterwards, it could go in different directions. So, and for us, we move on to our next story, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not desiring to go and live in one story. So the whole point is move on from story to story. So there's a certain detachment that happens. And of course, it's the same with Stargate too. We were all very prepared, and I was certainly too, to prepare to detach myself from it. And then it just it wouldn't go. So,
and I suppose Alexis, your character, you two characters in the one body, as the saying goes, the good and the sort of a bad. How fun was that to play the one episode being a good guy, and in the next episode being the bad guy, and a sort of a flip of a switch in some sort of series between the good and bad? Was that sort of enjoyable for you because they gave you both sides and both dimensions, and you got to explore so many different dimensions or so many different aspects of the character? Whereas if you were typically the good guy all the time, it would be some guy. But you almost got to play the good and the bad. So you got to see the best of both worlds.
Yeah, they're fun, and there's challenges in both, right? And then most people, most actors would say that it's more fun to play the bad guy. I've often said it's more fun to play the good guy, just because your expectations, so the audience expectations for a good guy, are sort of already there, and then you have to really work to fill those expectations, really to substantiate that relation to the audience. And that can be trickier, right? Because the bad guys are allowed to be more interesting right out the back, louder rather, in whatever it is their motivations are. But in this case, this was fantastic because I got to do both of them in real time, as it were. It wasn't like, oh, here in this movie, I'm a good guy, and then in that movie, I'm a bad guy, and there's separate contexts and separate ways of being. Here it was, you could go from scene to scene as I flip back and forth. And so there's a third challenge in that, in and of itself, which was super fun, right?